Oh, my swords and shields. So it really was like that. No. No. You can't pull this on us. I know Eden Zero was supposedly meant to have a more sadder note than anything, but this? No, I'm just saying... No. You cannot allow a character like this to just suddenly be taken out of the story. Or are you telling me that the theory that Homura will replace her as the Sword of Eden Zero are gonna be true? I would prefer if she didn't get turned into an android, and she's human. Unless, of course, someone can do that. But you guessed right. This is Eden Zero, and I basically just spoiled the plot of the thing, but let's just say it right here and now. The Valkyrie that we know is dead, and she has been dead for many years. So how does this go? Well, the angry anime fan here to tell you this sad tale. First off, a cover page that detailed all of the 4-star Valkyrie. I have to admit that was a very nice picture. It almost made it sure on who was who in this situation. And Hermit was like the little sister. I guess sorry. And the nun sister was supposedly the big brother. After all, she talks like a man. Maybe... but I do wonder who was the mom. Maybe witches. But what is Valkyrie? What was Valkyrie? The father? I don't know. She didn't really talk. I don't know how she talks. Either way, 5 years ago, Valkyrie did indeed find the Crimson Woman, whom Crimson Kogetsu. Because it turns out that Kurenai wasn't the ruler of Sun Jewel at first. At first she was just a poor slave, just like anyone else, and perhaps even a sex slave. Because she explains that the sex traders called the Bearer... the one who ruled this place was Baron Mordum. And Kurenai says that she couldn't leave because of this thing. But it was during this time that Valkyrie introduced that stealing guy, Paul, as his name was. And I call himself a thief teacher. It seems that he seems to have been genuinely fond of Valkyrie. So either way, it's the fact that but Paul at that time had the colors, and the reason why he hadn't taken on is because there was a rare metal that aren't transferred over to the Baramordum. Super high grade ether condensed, namely the tears of planet Orekrima. They can be sold for quite a price, and that was Paul didn't do that. Valkyrie was willing to save Kurenai and take her back to her mother, but Kurenai said that she had a debt to pay, and if she doesn't pay that back. So Valkyrie says that she was gonna help in order to fulfill the order of purpose. I will help. However, it all turns out that all of this was just a very big ploy by Kurenai. Well, we have seen her in the future now. She may very well have been a slave, as just like anyone else. However, it's very likely that after Valkyrie freed her 2 years later, somehow... No, sorry, I dropped my words. What I meant to say is, it's unknown if Kurenai always were sadistic and then just used this opportunity to free herself, or when Valkyrie freed herself, then she used the opportunity. But it sounds very likely that she was always evil, because after all she abandoned her child and she gambled at the casino. It could be the theory that maybe she did it at first because she wanted to get money to support Homura, but that is no excuse to abandon a child. Either way, 2 years after she was freed, she married Baron Mordum and then killed him and took over the planet and became the Crimson Woman. So it seems that she was the one who made depths at Skino. So it's just one of those ones. Valkyrie realized that she unintentionally freed a monster because of all this. And they were gonna put her in the place. But then Madame Kurenai used some kind of connection to call in the worst of the worst army of stone monsters. And the one who held the front was none other than Valkyrie, who entered a badass mode. Valkyrie weapon system online, Odin Strike. In fact, when she entered that stage, she's very reminiscing of Blumeblatt from Ersa Scarletto. Either way, we could interfere that this... well, or maybe we can't. I mean, what I'm trying to say here... This is either an example of Valkyrie's android and her ether gear combined at all, or this is the true potential of what her sword can do. Because she creates dozens of ether swords, but she also enters a weapon mode. And she was called the Weapon Swords, and she single-handedly battled the stones, all the while getting the money to Kurenai. Unfortunately, even that army was big enough for her, as she landed on the ground with her swords in the shield, half her body broken. She remembered how Homura said that she loved her, and she realized she didn't say it as well. But she did. Her last words were, "I love you too," as the brave Valkyrie, the sword of Eden Zero, broke down and died. I have to say, this is a sad scene. It's even worse when Homura finds the body of Valkyrie still standing in the same spot she died, or half standing. She is sitting down with one knee and the other leg up, but the sword down. She is still sitting that way. So in a way she died standing, but she died like a true badass and a true hero. Valkyrie was a true fighter of justice. She sincerely believed by freeing Kurenai she would go back to Homura, but no, Kurenai was a manipulative and power-hungry bitch that unleashed the armies, all in all very likely suspecting that Valkyrie would fight them, therefore not only giving her wealth but also dying in the process. And so Team Eden Zero can only cry as Paul admits that she protected us all, then she died. So yeah, this is a sad situation. It's even sadder for, you can't do this to a character that is supposed to be the Eden Zero sword. You had to bring her back. Or if that is impossible. I mean, granted she's an android, but it's not yet explained if androids can be revived. Happy was converted into a robot, but he was human. No, he was alien before. So it's not exactly known if a robot can be brought back to life after it's died, but they are androids. But is all of this meant to serve as a way for Homura to replace Valkyrie as the Sword of Eden? But she's human, unless she can convert herself into an android, which I hope she won't. But maybe that's a way to put the past behind her, because now it is official. Homura will have nothing but contempt for her mother. In fact, if she is even willing to give her mother a chance after this, I am gonna be surprised. Madame Kurenai is an unforgivable villain. And she needs to be stricken down by the daughter she abandoned for her own greed. She is responsible for killing the true mother of Homura's life. That is Valkyrie. Next chapter is called Being Able to Move Forward. Is that meant to encourage Homura and everyone else to move forward? Regardless, Team Eden Zero, please already destroy Sun Jewel! This evil cannot go unpunished. All in all, I do not like the despair, I admit, but I had to say, this hit the heart, so I had to give praise to it. I do not like that Valkyrie is dead, I sincerely do not. But the power of this chapter is real, and I have nothing but respect for Valkyrie. She stood like a true soldier, and I wish we had seen more of her though. Give me your thoughts if you have any.